that out.
Yeah, it's very twisted and creative. There's an artistic style that I think is, you know, those groundbreaking artists of, you know, the 70s. I like seeing that come back. Were there any influences in the making of the video, A Man Like Me?
Actually, when we made the video, we had been talking about doing a video for a while. We didn't know what song we wanted to do. We didn't really have a concept, and then we wanted to do something low budget, so that, you know, but still make it look awesome. So we just said, well, what if we just get a bunch of shit and just smash it? And at first it was a joke, and then we kind of just liked the idea of it. So there was no inspiration. There wasn't really any inspiration. It was just kind of just like, well, all right, well, why don't we just break some stuff?
Slow motion.
Yeah, slow motion was the key.
Inspiration.
Yeah, the inspiration was we watched a lot of slow motion videos on YouTube of things breaking. So we're just children that want to break things. That's basically it.
How long have you been together as a band?
About 4.5 years.
And is this your first EP, The Pits?
This is our first EP. We actually released a full length 2 years ago, off of the same record label. But this is our first EP.
So how did you get, you know, with all the musicians and bands and artists that are out there in competition and contention on the web, how did Venetia Fair get signed with a label so quickly? What's your secret?
It actually was one of the interns of the label saw us at a show, a local show in Boston, and told the label head about it, and he fell in love with us. So it was just a stroke of luck, really. It wasn't anything spectacular.
It's usually luck, you know?
Yeah, it's usually luck for all these
It's
things.
never really like
Just gotta have the right person like you.
Yeah. It's very hard to just send your CD to labels and have them just be like, oh, okay, we're down with this, because it just never happens like that, you know? You gotta like know someone, or someone sees something coincidentally, you know?
Well, you know, with all the digital platforms that are out there, you know, is there a big benefit being signed with a label, or what do you see as a distinction? Besides being, you know, say I'm signed with a label.
Well, I think the major benefit of the label is that they help you with, aside from having the contacts that we might not have ourselves, is that they'll, you know, they put a lot of money into the band in terms of promotions and advertisements.
Everything. Yeah.
Things like that.
Like to be able to fund our record and everything. We couldn't just like drop a few $1,000s and record a record on our own, you know?
Right. Not with the price of gas now.
Yeah.
So now you're skyrocketing. You're on Vans Warped Tour. Have you been on the entire tour? Or?
No, we started in Indianapolis and we're off in Cincinnati. So we only have about 4 more days.
And so where do you go from there? Back to Boston?
Back to Boston.
We're gonna go home
like
for a
2
couple
weeks.
2 weeks, and then we hit the road again. We'll be out for another 2 months.
We're going to continue working on our full length. We were originally going to try and do a full length to have done by this tour, but by Warped Tour to sell, but we didn't have enough time, so that's why we did an EP. So we have a lot of material lined up for a full length. So we'll continue working on that and then hit the road again.
Have you been hooking up with the bands here on Vans Warped Tour? You making connections, or?
Well, we've definitely been meeting a lot of people. Mostly after the day's over, there's a barbecue at the end of the day that all the bands hang out at. But for the most part, during the day, we're just hustling, trying to get our music out to people, showing people our music. So we don't have a lot of time during the day to like really check out a lot of bands. We do our best, but after
the barbecue is a good time to meet all the bands and stuff. For instance, like last night, we got in touch with one of the guys from Skull Candy Stage, who was interested in maybe like putting us on the rest of the tour, possibly, you know, talking about like we drop off a CD and fill out some paperwork. Maybe we can even extend from August 2nd on to the rest of the tour, which would be awesome. Him and I were just on our way to drop the CD off now. When I got your message, we came here, you know, pit stop. So yeah, tons of people to meet, awesome opportunities all the time, you know.
Yeah.
Cool stories, sure.
From like at the barbecue.
What kind of stories do you want?
Yeah, like behind the scenes, backstage.
Well, do you want gross stories or do you want cool stories?
Whatever.
Well, I can just tell you what happened last night.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Last night was one of the bigger parties of the year.
Want to start off with loading the trailer, maybe?
Sure. We were loading up the trailer. I was about to take a shower. We have a sun shower, just a bag of water that you hang on the top of something. So I was in my underwear, started showering, and then our friend Sierra from Versa Emerge was there that day, and she came over. We all ended up getting pretty drunk pretty
quick.
Fast.
While loading the trailer, Mr. Shark, our guitarist, decided to get naked and load the trailer naked. Don't know why, but it definitely drew a lot of people over.
Yeah, and so we had a good crowd of people at our van and trailer.
Always looking for a crowd, always trying to entertain.
Yeah, Chris got drunk and dared challenge Sierra to a boxing match. And she punched him so hard in the head. He has a huge welt on his head right now from that. But then later on the night, what happened? Chuck peed into his own mouth. Chris jumped off a dock into water filled with alligators.
Are these your band members?
Yeah.
Chris,
okay.
our
and
drummer.
That's why they're not here today.
No, they were around. They're fine. We played a show. Everything's fine. But like, Chris got offered $20 if he would jump into the lake filled with snakes and alligators, and he did. Chuck peed into his mouth, our guitarist. He's fine. Anything else crazy happen? I don't know.
I mean, it was just a crazy night in general. I think we all did some weird stuff.
I don't know.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was fun though.
So how are you dealing with the climb to fame? You know, whether it's like your fans or your friends. You know, I interviewed another band and they wrote a whole song about how fans kind of react, your friends even reacted, or family members as they
That's an interesting question because I don't even notice it. Like, I notice that we end up getting more fans and every time we play and everything, but since we're so busy all the time, we never get to. I don't know if you do, but we don't really have the perspective from everyone else. You know, we're not like hanging out with our friends being like, you gotta check out this band.
I have no idea how big we are.
Right, I literally have no idea.
We could go somewhere and play for 30 people,
for example,
or like 200 people.
Today I was pretty bummed out because we got an early time spot. I thought there wasn't going to be that many people watching us because we're not the biggest band on the tour, you know. And it turned out there was a lot of people there singing along.
Yeah, it was awesome.
A really great show today.
And our stage is like a small stage, like off the beaten path. And we're like, God, no one's gonna come here. They're not gonna know where it is, especially at 1 in the afternoon. But sure enough, it was an awesome turnout.
So I mean, that was cool.
It was.
But
cool.
You know, it's hard to tell. I mean, we've been working so hard the last year on writing and touring that we don't really know. You know.
So back to the pits. How long did it take you from start to finish to get pits out and
to record it?
Yeah, to get it recorded.
The recording took 5 days.
Yeah, we did
a little
it really
over.
fast.
We did 5 days at Square Studios with Steve Sobchak, who's a producer and engineer in Syracuse, and then we did like a day at my studio in Jersey City, and we did some horn tracking and stuff like that. 5 or 6 days, you know. But then there's the whole process of getting artwork and, you know, all the layout of everything.
I'd say after it was recorded, it was about a month before the CD was in our hands. So, but the writing of it took. We actually have way more than just these songs written. So we've been working on about 15 songs, and it took us about a year.
Do you write collaboratively together as a band, or is there one person who's like the lead writer? Or?
Well, I think it's pretty much a group effort for the most part. Yeah, we all swap ideas around, and a lot of times, like something Mr. Chark will write on guitar will end up being on piano, or vice versa. Like things get moved around all the time to different instruments, and
so try everything until the best thing comes out, kind of deal, you know, or at least what we think.
Yeah, and we're selfish and stupid, so it takes a while, but it works.
Yeah.
Do you have a personal message that you'd like to impart to your fans?
Yeah, I got a lot of messages.
This is the most professional interview we've done.
This is by far the most professional interview we've done. Usually we act like children and you know, do really stupid things in our interviews.
And you guys too, most professional.
Yeah,
because
so
like they're prepared.
Usually at a point like this, I would say in our interviews, here's the final message to my fans. Don't be a pussy. Who do you think you are?
And life is a toilet.
But I feel like that doesn't belong in this interview right now.
Hey, you know what?
But that's what it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's our message.
Let's go with it.